This is a recorded lecture for the IBDP Design Technology Topic A3.1.2, and we're focusing on glass. So you need to be able to discuss how frame, shell, and solid and a combination of structures and how they are used in the design of products. And you need to understand that materials are classified into natural and human-made, for example, timbers and polymers, and in this case, glass. Kind of the big idea with glass is that it's been used for a long time, for thousands of years in glassware and arts and architecture, electronics, and communication technology. And it's a rapidly developing and evolving material that has been changed amazingly over the last century. This is an example of that. You can see and watch this video right here. This is about how glass can turn a skyscraper into power generators. So essentially, they're using glass as solar panels. So what is glass? Glass is a hard, brittle, and typically transparent amorphous. So this is something that does not have a defined shape or form. It's a solid made by rapidly cooling a fusion of sand, soda, and lime. When we talk about crystalline, we mean that it is in a regular pattern. So this is an example of a crystalline solid, and an amorphous solid has no regular pattern. So glass is an amorphous solid. You can watch this video here and it'll explain why glass is transparent. We'll talk about why that's an important property of glass, but go ahead and watch this video and see why glass is transparent. Let's talk about the different types of glass, and this is the one that you're probably most familiar with. It's called soda lime glass. And this is what we make, glassware that you would use in your kitchen, jars, bottles, windows. This is the kind of glass that we use in those products. Another type of glass that you might be familiar with is borosilicate glass, and this is a heat-resistant type of glass, so we can use it in cookware and also, in the laboratory when you have a beaker and it says Pyrex on it, that is going to be borosilicate glass. It's quite tough also, and it has this boron oxide in it right here. Another type of glass you probably are familiar with is fiberglass, and we use fiberglass for things like boats or bathtubs or surfboards. These are a couple of videos that you can watch about fiberglass. Fiber optic glass is a type of glass that transmits light through it, so it acts kind of like a little tunnel that light can travel through. And this is actually one of the ways that we use to communicate around the world. So lots of internet signals and things like that are transmitted through fiber optic glass. And it's good because light travels at the speed of light, which is 300,000 kilometers per second. And so light can get from one side of the globe to the other side of the globe almost instantaneous through fiber optic cables. And this is compared to, say, in the past, they would use things like copper. And copper is not as quick at transmitting messages or electrical impulses compared to fiber optic cable, which can have pulses of light, which are then used to communicate. Lead crystal glass is a type of decorative glass, but they also make high-end glassware out of it. It's an example of, and it's lead crystal because they actually add lead into the glass structure. That lead does not leach into food or anything like that, so you can use it for glassware. But it also makes optical properties. It's very clear. Safety glass is an important type of glass that we use. Safety glass is basically two sheets of glass with an inner layer of usually plastic in between the two sheets of glass. Please watch this video and you'll see how tough this type of safety glass can actually be. Car windshields are usually made out of safety glass, so they don't shatter into big pieces, they shatter into small pieces, but also, bulletproof glass and things like that are also types of safety glass. One of the properties of glass is that it's transparent, so this is the ability to allow light to be transmitted with minimal scattering, allowing a clear view through a material, and this is an important property of glass. It's also chemically inert so that it lacks reactivity with other materials. So that means that it's not going to react with the contents that you put into a glass bottle. And that's important. Now, there are some exceptions. For instance, hydrofluoric acid. This is a video about fluorine. Hydrofluoric acid actually will react with glass. So you actually have to put hydrofluoric acid in plastic bottles. But most things won't react with glass. It's non-toxic. That means it's not going to break down. And for instance, this baking pan right here is not going to break down and add weird toxic chemicals to your food. Now, The difference would be if you had a plastic baking pan, that is going to do the complete opposite. It's going to break down and add nasty chemicals to your food. It's also biocompatible. So this means that it ensures the health of the biological environment. So for instance, a fish bowl is made of glass and the fish is not going to get some sort of leached chemical in its body. I put this in here because beryllium is a type of element which is not biocompatible. It's actually quite deadly, and I didn't realize that. But go ahead and watch this video and you can see what beryllium is. Glass is also hard. That means it resists scratching or penetration. So, for instance, glass is quite scratch resistant, but something like acrylic, and this is a clear acrylic, is not. It scratches really easily. Usually things that are hard are also brittle. So glass is quite brittle. So it will break into a number of shards. I have a glass light bulb here, and this is a plastic light bulb here to give you some sense of the difference. But a plastic light bulb is going to be able to withstand deformation, but it's not going to be very hard. It'll scratch easily. A glass light bulb will crack really easily and break, but it's also quite hard. It's a good electrical insulator, so it does not transmit an electrical charge. So you can find glass in, for instance, here, these are glass insulators on power transmission lines, and that will not conduct electricity. Glass is comparatively cheap because it's made out of the two most abundant elements on our planet, which are oxygen. Oxygen is the most abundant element on our planet, and silicon, which is the second most abundant element on our planet. So it's widely available because it's made out of sand, really. Now, specific types of sand, you have to have fairly pure sand, but it's common. You can get this stuff almost everywhere. Glass also has some great aesthetic characteristics, and this refers to the visual and sensory qualities of an object or design that contributes to its overall appearance. I just have a couple of demonstrations of this. This is a beautiful vase right here, and this is a can with a flower in it. And this isn't as appealing as this. I would say that this vase is much more beautiful than this Star soda can. Now, how does this apply to frame, shell, and solid constructions? I struggled to find an actual frame structure that was made out of glass, but I actually managed to find one. So this is a frame structure that's made out of glass. These are the frames right here, these framing parts right here. And then this would actually be the shell, but this frame right here is actually made out of glass. And in the right conditions, with the right kind of glass, you could use it as a frame, but it's not typically used in frame structures. It's more used in shell structures. This is a greenhouse, and the black, probably aluminum frame here is holding the glass shell. So this is kind of typical when you think of a structure that's made out of glass. You're going to probably think of something like a greenhouse. But we can use glass to do framing, as you can see in this picture. Glass is typically used in shell structures. So for instance, here you can see that this is a glassed-in area in this building. These are actually the same building. And it's typical that you see glass like that. Also, if you think of glass, you usually blow glass into some sort of bubble, which then you're using as a shell. So like, for instance, if I go back to this vase on this picture here, this would have been blown by a glass maker. And so this is a shell structure right here. So this product is a shell structure. I struggled to find solid products, so solid structure products, but this glass countertop could be an example. So, whether you find this aesthetically appealing or not, it's an option for a countertop, and it's interesting. But this would be a solid product made of glass. And you don't typically find a lot of solid structures made of glass, more shell structures made of glass in products. But here's an example of a solid structure made of glass. All right, let's talk about advantages and disadvantages of glass. Transparency and aesthetics, this is the biggest advantage. It allows light transmission, natural light penetration. It's chemical resistant, so it's highly resistant to most chemicals. We talked about hydrofluoric acid, that's one of the exceptions. It's impermeable, so it's a non-porous surface, so it's easy to clean, and that means that it can be quite hygienic. For instance, in places like hospitals where you want clean surfaces. It has high compressive strength, so it can withstand a significant amount of forces when it's compressed. It has heat and electrical insulation, so it provides excellent thermal insulation, but also electrical insulation. And we use double and triple glazed glass in houses, so that prevents heat from leaving a house or cold from coming inside the house. It's sustainable, so glass is 100% recyclable. So these are all advantages. One of the disadvantages of glass is it doesn't have very high tensile strength. So it's got low tensile strength and it's quite brittle, so it cracks easily. Its weight, glass is relatively dense and heavy, so that can be a problem. It really does have a high amount of embodied energy, so the manufacturing process requires really high temperatures and therefore lots and lots of energy. It's difficult to repair. Once you've cracked or scratched a piece of glass, it's very difficult to repair. It's susceptible to damage. It can be scratched or etched by abrasive materials, and it can be vandalized. You see this actually on subways quite often, where people will have scratched things onto the glass. And thermal expansion can be a problem. If you're not careful with this, it can expand and contract with temperature changes, and that can cause cracking. Thank you for watching.